call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Pay attention, I'm on a mission. I'm there with a vision. Got a passion, making it happen. Ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. somehow there's nothing keeping this roof from blowing on. We're taking over the town, hit the switch and shut it down. Like Indian, we're electric, never stop. We're coming ready or not, we're coming ready or not. We're giving all that we got, we're giving all that we got. We're coming ready or not. We're throwing gas on the fire, the stratosphere getting high. We're trouble when we get crazy, we get wild. Got dynamite in our blood, get ready and buckle up. When we go big, we blow up in ferocious style. We're coming ready or not, we're coming ready or not. We're giving all that we got, we're giving all that we got. We'll never throw in that white towel. You're never knocking us out. We're coming ready or not, we're coming ready or not. 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 Oh, pain on our face. Oh, drums, the thunder that keeps our pace. And make no mistake, we're coming for you. We're coming for you. We're coming for you. We're coming ready or not. We're coming ready or not. We're giving all that we got. We're giving all that we got. All that we got, yeah. We'll never throw in that white towel. You're never knocking us out. We'll never know. We're coming ready or not. We're coming ready or not. We're coming ready or not.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here to the Press Box Motorsports Podcast. We're going to quickly do this intro because we're going to get to our two other people on the show here tonight. Mainly, and full disclosure, I'm pretty sure at least one of them is passing out right now. Probably both of them. It's been a long couple of days here for myself and for them. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But again, we're going to bring them straight in because we know everyone is extremely tired. And Brockton, as always, welcome to the show. And Terry, welcome. Both of you fresh off of a 24-hour broadcast. One of you running the 24-hour race. Myself just got done with real racing, which should have taken about 2 hours and took about 5. And then, of course, winding down from that, doing some graphic work. So we both, or all three of us, had very long weekends. But Terry, it's good to have you on the show for the first time.
Yeah, it's good to be here, coming fresh off the iRacing 24, a great special event that was on a couple different places yesterday. It was, I would say, arguably the biggest 24-hour race that iRacing has done. VCO had a command center and was running 5 races at one point. Split 1 was covered. All 24 hours of it was covered on RaceSpot. And then RaceSpot also covered the first 6 and the last 6 of the second split yesterday, thanks to the VCO and PRL. A massive event, and I think next year is going to be even bigger.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and start that 15-minute clock because we're talking about this. Brockton, you raced in it, and, didn't quite go the way you really probably wanted it to go, to say the least. That being said, I did tease that we had a clip of how his race started. A full disclosure, it's not actually of his race. The footage does belong to Race on Texas, not myself. But we said that we did, so we'll play this full screen. Again, we had a clip of how his race started, and it went something probably like this. Last night, and then he gets stuck on the wall. So again, we said we had some footage of it, but Brockton, that's all just joking around. We know you're a good racer, but
that's cold.
But how did that race actually start?
It's cold, but it's fairly accurate, to be honest. the Beaver Block and Niner Esports team had a bit of a rough go at it. Technically, we had 2 attempts. We ran the 7:30 split and then got wrecked out in the first hour and a half, and decided to jump ship from there and go to the 11 o'clock split. And then got wrecked a lot in that one. That one had the full field of cars, the GT3s, the LMP2s, and the new hybrid prototypes that iRacing introduced a couple months ago. And man, it was bad. We got turned into turn 1 with 15 minutes on the clock. That put us back behind everybody. Then we were battling through the LMP2s and got torpedoed by an LMP2, which gave us 25, almost 30 minutes of repairs. But the team stuck it out. We ended up finishing top 10, 44 laps off the pace. So it was a rough night, and there's some clips floating around on my Twitch channel, and of course a couple of the other guys that you can see, but they're not 100% family friendly. So choice words were said at some choice people for sure last night. There was all kinds of miscommunications on the track and a couple off the track, but other than that, we survived it. It was my first 24-hour race. And I'm happy with the result because we did finish all 24 hours.
Always good to finish all 24. And Terry, I don't believe you did all 24, but you said next year you're doing all 24 hours of a 24-hour race. But exactly how many hours did you do? Because we know just a second ago you said you've had, 6, 7 energy drinks already?
Yeah, I got up at 5:30, went to work as normal. Went in, started doing my job, started watching. I watched all 24, whether it was from the prod feed or from the YouTube or the iRacing Twitch. Started at 1:40 Eastern time, went to 3:40, took a bit of a break, went back to work, came back home, had some supper, maybe took a small little cat nap, laying in the wife's lap for a little bit. And then came back on at 11:40 Eastern Standard Time till about 1:40, and then had a 2-hour break to jump to split 2 to go from 3:40 to 5:40. And by that time, you was like, well, you might as well finish it. So you might as well just sit here and watch as a fan of the remainder of the race. But it was an interesting split 1. If you think of the top split version of it, Williams Esports Chill Blast started off on pole, had a bit of an issue, took it back, went multiple, almost a minute and a half behind, almost went a lap down, and was able throughout the race to put 3 different drivers in that car to come back up, regain the lead after some issues with a couple of the drivers that was up front. Teams had either internet failures or mechanical failures with their rigs, went behind the 8 ball, and they ended up winning that race by a pretty good margin. And at about the 16-hour to go mark, they were on a completely different strategy than the rest of that field. And everybody was like, there's no way they have a shot to win this race. And if you go look at Race Spot Split 2, our second hour coverage of it, I said, this race isn't over for that one machine. They have a lot of speed. And everybody was like, no, you're crazy. Well, it's 24 hours for a reason. Everything can happen in the 24 at Daytona.
Yeah, I don't know if this happened, but the one thing I'm curious about is because you're kind of become famous for it, and I like it in our LSRTV stuff. Was there a tire segment with Terry?
No, those tires are a lot different than the NASCAR side of things. Obviously, you think about what all the GTD class, the LMP2 class, and the GTP class. Yeah, there you go. All the different classes that go into that race. It's been a long night and an early morning to rise up to do the show. But yeah, there's a lot difference in there. You have more of a groove tire than what you do with a slick tire. And you got to think potentially with the introduction of rain for next year's event, if that becomes a reality on the iRacing platform, which would just be phenomenal. And that would definitely make doing all 24 more enjoyable. But yeah, I'm going to look for sponsors for the race spot coverage to potentially find a group of misfits that wants to sit down there in a split 2 or something to go, hey, we'll start this bad boy at 8:30 when split one starts, and we'll end this thing when it ends in 24 more hours.
Well, there you go. And Brockton, back to you real quick. I hadn't even seen this yet, but I believe you said it was a tweet or Facebook post or something. Maybe it's on iRacing about more cars coming to the 24-hour race next year.
Yeah, so during pre-roll, Steve Myers posted on Twitter that there were going to be more LMDHs or LMPs or whatever we're calling them now. I am not an IMSA fan by any means. Well, I am an IMSA fan, and I am learning more and more with every time I drive the cars. But he said there will be more of those cars coming in the near future / in the next year because, of course, in real life, we've got the Cadillacs, the Porsches, the BMWs, and the Acuras. And if we get to have a full fleet of those cars, I think that'll be awesome. A huge diversity in that class, so it's not just a BMW. You got some more strategy when it comes to weight differentials, fuel mileage, with the hybrid system, which car uses more hybrid. So it'll be interesting to see if which ones come out first, because the ones that come out first will more likely be the ones most used, just because people will have more practice with them. But yeah, more coming in the future, which is a huge win for iRacing. And I wanted to touch on something that Terry said earlier. This is by far the biggest iRacing event and biggest sim racing event of the year. Easily. I mean, Terry and I were talking stats. 4,000, a little over 4,000 drivers registered for this event. And it ran fairly smoothly.
Splits.
85 splits. I mean, kudos to whoever runs the iRacing servers, because our team had a little bit of blinking issues and a little bit of netcode here and there, but that's a lot of stress on a lot of servers, and really most of it's client side at the end of the day. So they did a great job putting this event on. There's just some, let's say, human error involved in this sport that can be. Oh, Terry, what you got?
So I give you the stats. So 4,191 teams registered for the 24, 16,651 drivers amongst those 4,000 teams, 85 splits, 24 wild hours in one massive event. That right there should tell you the level of competition and what iRacing brings to the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to put that in perspective, I was just on hosting some fun races the other night. On any given night, I think there's over 200,000 members, but in any given night, like last night Thursday night we did it, there were 10,000 people online racing at that particular time. So there were more people registered for that race than are usually on at a given time. So that's a lot of drivers registered for that. And, I want to a little off the subject here, but I want to talk about the rain potentially coming for the 24-hour race and other races. So if we get rain and you have rain, I figure it's going to start out on road courses. We may not see it on the oval side right away, because that's another whole logistic. But if we do see rain come to the oval side of things for NASCAR, are we going to see maybe jet dryers come into this? Could we have a delay, or would it automatically cancel the race? Which way do you think they might go here?
Personally, for me, I don't think we'll see it on any ovals for a very long time. And I definitely don't think it'll be on the official side of things. Maybe you can make it part of like a league race or something, have a quote unquote weather shortened race. So it's a strategy called, and it's kind of like a random thing. I see it coming to the oval side of the road side of things fairly quickly. I mean, we already know there's wet tires in the game now. So I'd say within the next couple of builds, we're probably going to get rain. And that was the big joke for our team, was I was not very comfortable driving the BMW because I'm a low downforce, high horsepower stock car driver, and this thing's got a lot of downforce and a lot of power, so I was all over the place during practice, and I said, they're gonna not tell us the rain is coming, and then it's gonna just downpour the second I get in the car. But luckily we survived that and no rain was had. But it did rain in real life at Daytona. I want to point that out. So I was right. But the rain will come. The rain will come in road course, but I don't think it'll come in the oval series unless you're running on a road course in the NASCAR series.
I think on the side of the rain, iRacing has such wonderful people that go in and scan this and that build their software and that puts stuff in employees in the service. You know they're going to do it right. I don't think we're going to see it on the oval side. I don't think you'll even be able to use it as an option to rain delay it. You'll run all the laps that you schedule out there, but it will fit where it should, and it'll fit in the side that can run in whatever conditions possible. That roadside would be absolutely phenomenal to see it on. You think about doing Bathurst or doing the virtual Petit Le Mans, or think about running the 24 at Daytona or the 6 hours of Watkins Glen, a bunch of big iRacing special events. You're going to pull it out. You're not going to pull it out in every event. I don't think you'd be that crazy to employ and go, it's going to rain every special event for a road race out here. No, that would just defeat the purpose, and it'll make people not want to watch. But they're going to watch, anticipating it at some point in time when it becomes the point of the parts of the build. I'm excited to see it from an announcer standpoint, to where you're sitting there and you're calling a race and you're like, is it raining? Like, is that cloud going to bring us rain? Like fans at home, whoever the first group of announcers are on one of these special events that goes, wait a minute, I think I see rain hitting this racetrack. And it's just going to be a surreal moment to sit there. I hope it's me. I hope I'm on one of Race Spots broadcasts for one of the special events and go, hey, Tebben, or hey, Connery, or whoever, I think it's raining out here. This is going to change a lot. And it'll be fun to see what the drivers slip and slide around. But obviously, you're going to have to put it in the system to let people drive on it and test it first. You don't just want to send a downpour going into turn one like they did at New Hampshire in NASCAR and not throw that caution flag and go, yep, it's raining. You're going to go in here and drive it regardless.
I'm with Terry, except Terry, you're on the announcing side of it. Well, I don't get to announce much. I'm on the aspect of producing. I can't wait to be one of those producers doing all of a sudden maybe. I assume if we're going to have rain, we're probably going to have thunder and lightning possibly too. So,
I hope not.
See, well, hopefully we don't have it on the track, but I think maybe they can introduce lightning, kind of how they do the plane at Daytona. It's off in the background. It's not necessarily on the track. But I think it'd be cool to be doing, just picture this in your head. If you're doing an announce and you're watching from like a camera going down the back straight of Daytona and you see lightning strike in the back with a little bit of rain, I think it'd be pretty cool, especially if it's a sunset and lightning. I don't know. But anyway, yeah.
I think you're more picturing the music video for Thunder Rolls with Garth Brooks at the light.
I was listening to it the other day.
I think you're more looking at that side of it. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, the plane takes off. If you actually saw Justin Malillo's tweet, he showed the Ferris wheel and then the rides going off and the plane was coming up behind it. You just saw the plane take off. I don't care who anybody is. They can come at me on the Twitter. They can send me a message on Facebook. I'll tell you flat out, iRacing is the premier sim on this planet, and they'll continue to be the world's leader in sim racing and testing for all these teams probably till the end of time.
Oh. Yeah, and I know this is wrapping up here, but there's a reason why we already don't have rain. There's a reason why we don't have flat spots, and it's because they want to make sure it's done right. I mean, it took them 10 years to get this damage model correct, and they're still working on it. So it's not like they're giving half the effort for the profit. They're doing everything for you as the consumer, and for us as producers, radio and video broadcasters, and drivers. I mean, we are a trifecta of people that know what this sim is all about. And they're doing everything in their power to make it as good as they can, which is why we can run 24-hour events with 10,000 people and nothing major happen, and why we can sit on a podcast here tonight and express what we would want and know what we're getting and know that when we get what we want, it's going to be how we want it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And speaking of wanting, this will lead us, in the words of Wesley, we're going to segue into this thing. This is going to lead us to our next one. And I know he wants it, and we all hope he gets it, and that's the college series. Yeah, we know he wants this. He wants to be on it. And let's be honest, if he stands up, he's in pajamas. I know he told us that, but we don't care. It's a podcast, not a broadcast. So if you see he's got Tennessee on, he's sitting on Tennessee. He's got Tennessee all around him. I'm pretty sure he's probably one of them that, would tear up like the goalposts and take it if he could put it in his room. But Terry College Series is coming up. And we know with every fiber in you, you want to be on this because there is nobody on this planet, I don't think, that knows college better than you.
I would put James Pike right there with me. We're both on that level of college is all around the greatest experience. You think about these kids are going out there and competing at a high level on the football field, soccer, swimming, track, field, whatever. They're out there competing at a high level. And I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent for a second, so bear with me because I'm very passionate about this. It's absolutely remarkable to think of what Xfinity has done when it comes to putting, sim rigs and HBCUs and taking all of these different avenues to get more diversity in iRacing, to get more diversity in NASCAR, to get more diversity in IMSA, in the world of motorsports in general. That's what we need. And the eNASCAR College Series is starting to do that. We're seeing more females come in and want to race in this. We're seeing more colleges pick up an esports team. We actually had a man, a doctor, and was like, I want my college. I want the university that I teach at to be a part of this college series. That's what we need. We need more people to come out here and just continuously push this series and push it to the future, because you got to think that there's not many times where iRacing or the eNASCAR community gets behind something and goes, wait a minute, that's pretty cool. They're giving scholarship money to drivers just to come out here and apply their skill. And all the top 10 gets paid. I mean, it goes down from I think it's $3,500 all the way down to $500 for 10th. That's every week. That's 4 weeks in a row you're giving money to these drivers. Yeah, last season or last semester, sorry, I'll speak college terms for a second. Last semester, Steven Wilson absolutely whipped him from the University of Iowa. But that gave everybody else in that field an opportunity to say, hey, these next 4 races we go to when this semester comes back for the spring side, we got to step our game up. We have to go kick the old man off his rocker for a second. And whoever steps up to him in this semester, if he does come back, in which I do believe he will, but he's focused on the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series to potentially go out there and win that one. Just an amazing product, and it all kicks back off Tuesday. That's awesome. Tuesday, tomorrow, I'll potentially find out if I'm on it or not. Maybe tonight, I don't know. Hopefully, I find out. I'll get to announce it on the old Twitter. I hope it's me and Pike. I'm begging for it. I know Brockton over here got a couple people from the 49ers esports team that will be competing, I believe.
Yeah, so our old buddy Garrett Lowe for Niner Esports is sitting on pole for the time attack with a 23.96. Just saying, putting that out there.
Yeah.
And then we've got Tucker Minter. Who else we got? Clint Helterman, Justin Garrett's, myself, and then Joe DeSantos in the B main, which I'll be streaming that from my point of view. So, I mean, we've got 6 or 7 drivers week in and week out, just thrashing it out, trying to get that one spot. And of course, there's ways to improve it. And there's a large community that is thinking of ways to improve it, because that's what we need. We need to be evolving and moving forward and making this more accessible. And I think this whole series is a huge thing for collegiate esports and iRacing, because it's starting to show these universities that this matters. This is a huge deal. And I'm going to call out UNCC here. They don't give us enough credit. They don't. The iRacing team in its first 2 months, now we started this last semester, in the first 2 months has raked up over $15,000 in iRacing scholarship money alone. And they don't bat an eye. So it's up to the universities to push this so attendance doesn't drop, so the attention doesn't drop, and it's going to be an overall benefactor to them because esports is a multi-billion-dollar entertainment field. So they've got to support this. iRacing is supporting it. The NASE or is it NASE Star League?
They Star
N-
League. They Star
A
League.
Star League. So
Yeah.
Star League, all of those guys, they're supporting this. It's now up to the universities to support it.
Oh,
Yeah, I understand the support. You know, you scroll up and down Twitter, you see a couple drivers that ring in my head. Nate Stewart, racer for Eastern Kentucky Community College, and then you got Mario Miranda from Oklahoma. A lot of those esports programs and universities share it. Obviously, we don't see all of it.
Yeah.
You know, we don't look at across the board and see every university that's represented. But I think the big thing is we could put more eyes on this product. We could put more eyes to whatever we could do to make the iRacing product better. And if we can make the iRacing product better by putting 15, 16,000 people to watch it on the NASCAR YouTube or on the iRacing Twitch or eNASCAR.live, wherever we could put eyes to do it, and opening the universities up and saying, hey, you could have an esports program that can do this. That iRacing's willing to put scholarship money out there and give these young athletes, men, women, regardless of their race, their gender, or their creed, we're giving them a chance to come out here and race, and we're putting them on a pedestal to say, hey, we want you to come out here. We want you to compete at the highest level. And I can always go back to the point that iRacing is the greatest platform on the face of this earth, but nobody puts more backing behind their young talent than iRacing. And you see that from the college series, you see it from the Coke series, you see it from all the Pro World Championships that iRacing has done. They have continuously been the #1 trending place. And I'm pretty sure they trended on Twitter for 14, 15, 16 hours last night of just talking about the 24. So I don't. They trended in a positive light too. That's the good part.
no, and one thing I don't. You can correct me if I'm mistaken on this, Terry. I haven't seen it, but one thing that I think would be cool too to see for this is the money's great, but we have, and we'll be talking about the Pro Series coming up here in just in the next segment, in a few minutes. But I think it'd be cool to see if you're the champion of the college series, kind of make it like Xfinity, and Cup with the college and the Coke series. Maybe they should get a couple of free rides with one of these teams into the eNASCAR Coca-Cola series, on a provisional ride or something for a race or two to see, how they hang with the big boys up there.
Well, they have a system, and that system's in place for a reason with the eNASCAR Road to Pro series. And then you go to Contender, and then you go to Coke. A lot of the college drivers, they're so busy with school. I mean, you look at these drivers up and down the list for that series. Most of them are in college. They barely have enough time to practice as it is. Between their studies and between that, that's just a little getaway for them. In that hour and a half that they're racing, they might get 20, 30 minutes a night to practice. And they're so dedicated to it. They finish their studies, they go to practice, and then, well, it's just like a student athlete. Because you go, instead of going to a basketball court or a football court, you sit down at your sim rig and you try to make yourself better, and you try to learn the strategy, the tire wear, and whatnot. But they're good enough to compete in the college series. I would say they have a good chance to make it through the ladder system with the Road to Pro and then Contender, and then take it up to Coke for that trifecta group they have there.
Oh, they definitely do. And Brockton, you got something on that one?
Yeah, I don't think they should get a full ride straight to the Coke series. I think maybe a spot in the Contender series, just so it's not entirely all the way up to the Pro. They have the opportunity to race around a higher caliber of I guess, competition. And if they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. That's fine. So there's a little less, I guess, drama, because you get someone in there that hasn't raced at a professional level before, and they start causing wrecks and they start getting nervous around it. That could cause some backlash between some of the staples of the sport. And I think, although it would be nice to kind of have the ability to do that, I think Terry's pretty spot on with the fact that there's a system in place for a reason, so we don't have somebody that's not ready for it going up to the big leagues and causing mayhem and destruction, basically.
Yeah, Terry's right. As he spoke it, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, and he sure did it. I agree. Maybe give him a contender spot. Something to they still have to earn to get up there. But we're already kind of talking about that. So and I know you two are tired as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that clock, and we're just going to jump right into that. We have the pros, Road to Pro coming up. Contender will be coming up. eNASCAR Coca-Cola series. He's got all his stuff right there ready to go. So, Terry, while it may be very little, I have had a little bit of, experience doing a Road to Pro race. And I know you're looking forward to these pro series coming up and potentially getting to broadcast them and cover them.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the Coke series, and this is credit to Justin Melillo. So I'm on his Twitter at his unofficial 2023 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series team list. We're welcoming a new team over into here, and it's going to be amazing to see what these teams do. We got Pioneers coming over. That's become a staple in here with Derek Justice, and believe it's Wyatt Tinsley has taken that thing. And then we have 5-6 rookies. We got Michael Cozy Jr., Daniel Falkingham, Tyler Gary, Timmy Holmes, Jordy Lopez Jr., Tucker Minter, Wyatt Tinsley, and Parker White, all rookies coming into the Coke series. Drivers retired from last season. You got a lot that are returning, though. I will promise you that. You got some that are on new teams, so new faces in different places. It's going to be the best season ever. In the competition, I spoke to Derek Justice last night on the 24-hour broadcast, and he said flat out that a lot of people are looking at these rookies, quote-unquote rookies, and sleeping on them. He's thinking they're going to come in and make a massive impact. I mean, Kevin King is a returner into the Coke series. You think back years ago, he was in, and he's making his return this season to the team. And he's going to be driving for Junior Motorsports. He's going to be in that 88 machine that's going to take over Briar LaPrade from last season. So I love the concept, and you have to think Casey Kerwin's coming back, the defending champion there in that 95 machine for XSET Motorsports. The system they have in place, that the top 20 stays and the bottom goes back to contender. And you got to think, 4-time didn't come back. A guy like Ray Alfala in the contender series did not come back to the Coke series. If that didn't tell you the level of competition that's really going to come, that's going to be in that in the Coke series this year, people that are watching, I hate to tell you, newsflash, you're going to see one of these rookies. They're going to win a race this year. My pick is Kevin King's going to win the first race of the season at Daytona. I think Kevin King potentially goes to the Final Four this year. I'm not saying that because he's a buddy of mine, but I think him, Casey Kerwin, if I'm looking at the board, I would go Kevin King, Casey Kerwin. I'm going to take Vicente Salas, and I'll go – where is he? I'll go Bobby Zielinski.
You can't pick him. That's my pick.
That'll be my Final Four. He won't be my champion. I think Casey Kerwin goes back-to-back.
If I had to go with anybody, like I said, I'm going Bobby just because I've covered races of him. I refer to him as the Big Orange because it seems no matter where he goes, he's got an orange car somewhere. So
It's a good color.
Yeah, it is a good color, right? Even though he's got orange everywhere back there, but he always had that. It looks similar to this car, orange. But yeah, everywhere he went when I covered a few races he was in, he dominated them. He really did. So I'm waiting for it. I think his day is coming in the Pro Series. But uh, Brockton, what are your thoughts on all these? Contenders that didn't make it in that are big names.
Yeah, there were a lot of big names not making it back into the Coca-Cola series, and one of them being four-time Ray Alfala, who had a tough year last year. Like, that was, speaking from a factual and fan standpoint, that was a crappy year. It's not great. And there were a lot of guys that just decided they didn't want to come back. So it's such a tough series to hang around in and perform well in. And, we're all making picks and talking about rookies. A rookie that I'm going to have my eye on, not only because he is part of the Niner esports team, but also because he's a pretty good friend of mine. I think I can call him a friend. Tucker Minter. I mean, kid is on fire. He finished quite well in every Contender Series race, except for, I think, Miami. He had a struggle run in with a couple drivers. But apart from that, he was top 5 basically every week. And he's consistently fast. He's clean, he's fast, and he might not win, but he's definitely going to at least point his way into the playoffs. And then he might even make it all the way to the round of 4. I think Garrett Lowe is going to at least double his win count this year. He got a win last year at Kansas. Awesome win. I saw that live. I was at the Charlotte Phoenix live event versus Junior Motorsports. So that was a cool thing to see one of my drivers win. But I think my top 4, Kerwin's going to go back-to-back into getting in the top 4. Lowe's going to get in there. Minter's going to get in there. And it's tough. I think Michael Conti on his farewell season is going to make a return to the top 4, and I think he's going to get the championship.
Good pick.
Oh, definitely a good pick. Like I said, we've all made our picks, so we'll go back to episode 3 when it's all said and done, and somebody may get to gloat and say, "Yeah, my pick won," or we all just may be like, "Well, we really were bad at picking." I don't know, but looking forward to.
They're all great.
Yeah, that's
and it's a season of unknowns.
It really is. That's the hard part about making picks for this season. It's like what they say when you go to Talladega or Daytona. Put the numbers in a hat, shake it up, and pull one. You don't know what this season's going to do. So I will encourage every single person that watches this. I'll encourage everybody on Twitter. If you miss the race and you're at work and you can't watch it, follow Seth Eggert, follow Justin Malillo on Twitter. They keep you up to date of every single thing that has to do with eNASCAR from the Coca-Cola iRacing series. Go back and rewatch it. You got multiple platforms: eNASCAR.live, twitch.tv/iRacing, iRacing's YouTube. You cannot miss it. It's on the NASCAR YouTube as well. There are places galore to watch it. It's on Facebook. It's on pretty much every streaming spot possible that you can put it. It's gonna have to. You're gonna have to tune in and see, because I mean, if you look up and down this roster from 2311 all the way down to XSET Motorsport, every single one of these drivers can win. And every one of these drivers can win the championship. There's not one team up and down this roster that you go, yep, they don't have a shot at winning. They made it here for a reason, and they're going to be here for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if this roster is one of the best rosters going forward, and that we see a repeat of this roster minus a few of the ones that, obviously retire and drop off. But this roster coming into next season pretty much stays the same because they're all that good.
Yeah, and you speak about that, to elaborate. I'm curious, and this may be like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? We may never know, but I'd love to know out of all the drivers if they could take a picture of their sim rig, because everyone talks about real racing is become a money sport now. Unfortunately, you got to have money to get into it. Well, if you got decent internet, a fairly decent computer, a wheel and pedals for $100 for Thrustmaster, whatever brand you want to get, Logitech, whatever. You don't have to have a ton of money to have talent. There you go. You PlayStation wheel. You don't need the money to be good. You need the talent, and these guys have it. So, that's what I like about the Road to Pro, Contender, eNASCAR. These big events where there's 16,000 people. Out of those 16,000 people, not all of them got mommy and daddy's money and are billionaires. So it really levels the playing field to where it's all about talent, and I really, really like that about iRacing.
Well, you can show your rig. Hashtag show your rig and tag the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. And in the pre-race show, they will be more than happy to show your rig on there during the scheduled time. I got plugs for days of how much.
Every eNASCAR driver needs to go do that now.
That's right. Hashtag show your rig. The Logitech G920 or the Logitech folks. All right, do a wonderful job of great ambassadors. Can't thank Wendy's enough for what they do for eNASCAR. Can't thank Coca-Cola for all they do for the eNASCAR side of things. There's so many great partners that tie in from one to the other. This is going to be the greatest season ever. It started with an amazing 24-hour at Daytona, and you can't wipe the smile off my face with how cool it was for a young Tennessean to sit down and call a 24-hour race with some of the, I would say, best announcers on iRacing, some of the best producers on iRacing to sit down and do that race in different platforms and stream it at a high level to multiple different places. 2023 is the year of iRacing. It's going to be fantastic, and next year is going to get even bigger. The year after that's going to get even bigger. Let's get more people on iRacing with the fantastic deal where we're still at 40% off for new members.
Yes, indeed. We are still 40% off. And come Tuesday and Wednesday, you'll see a little QR code where you can scan it on the LSRTV broadcast, and it will take you directly to that page where you can sign up. And, if you sign up today, you could probably get good enough maybe to get in one of these special events coming up, because this is going to be a quick rundown. We'll maybe elaborate on some of them. But that 24-hour race was only one. We still have the Bathurst 12. Of course, everybody wants the Daytona 500, the Sebring 12, Road America 500, and we're getting waved down, so we're going to go to Terry for that.
I'm going to be calling that one, I hope, for RacePod. That's my 1-year anniversary for RacePod, so hopefully we make that call. I called it last year.
Oh, definitely. And here's another one, the Nürburgring 24 hours. So we got another 24-hour race coming up. And, of course, all the NASCAR fans, the Coke 600, the 6 Hours of the Glen, the Spot, another 24-hour race, Peachtree 3.
It's a charity race.
Okay, yeah, multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
I see that now. So
yeah,
definitely want to tune in for that one. The Knoxville Nationals, a newer one. Did we do that last year on iRacing? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't remember it.
Addition, sounds like.
That'll be interesting. Assume it will be the 410s. It'd be cool if they did the ASCS version, the American Sprint Car Series, and did the 360 Nationals as well. If they are the 410s, that'd be a new addition. Of course, the Bristol 500, Bathurst 1000. We're just going to stop. The list goes on and on. There's just a ton of events.
Yeah, that's the last one on my eNASCAR bucket list that I have yet to call is the Bristol 500. I've done every other special event for the NASCAR side. Don't forget the Road America 500 either. The Road America 500 is there as well. That right there should go right after the Peachtree or right after the Knoxville Nationals is where that one slots in. To put on a good race at Road America, and one of the finest road courses that you're going to find across this planet.
And just to summarize the last few minutes or minute and a half here, we haven't even talked about that they have there's the iRacing Off-Road Championship, the International Racing Series. Of course, they've got the Outlaws Car Quest Auto Parts series, the Butt Kicker Outlaw series for late models, Rallycross. It pretty much, this is a plug for iRacing at this point. If you want to get into iRacing at 40% off, as Terry said, there's something for everyone, whether you like just about anything.
That's it.
Yeah,
You can sum it up with that. You tell me what you want to drive, you come do it. This is your portal. I'll quote the commercial. This is your portal to the iRacing community. You can come in. You can race anything you want. If you're a console gamer, iRacing has the World of Outlaw game you can go get. It's a fantastic game. I have it on my Xbox. That game is very realistic, and it feels like you're here. It feels like you're watching them at a racetrack. Great graphics, great physics to the cars. The dirt feels really good. Or if you just want to come in and be a part of the ever-changing world of sim sports, well, that's your ticket. iRacing.com is your portal, or you can watch it on eNASCAR.live. You can watch it on YouTube with an iRacing channel. You can scan the QR code anytime for updates, news, highlights, ways to become a member. There's so many ways to find out about iRacing.
This is true, and unfortunately, time has grown short, so we're going to get rid of that one off the timer. And I know you two want to get to bed. You've been up for quite some time working and racing and broadcasting, and myself have been up.
I wouldn't call it
well.
working, Charles.
Okay, having fun.
Nah, it's never work when it comes to iRacing. It's always fun.
Having fun is what we've been doing, but we'll do a quick last minute plug for anybody that wants to. We'll start with Brockton, go to Terry, and then I will send us home so we can take a siesta and maybe get some dinner.
Yeah, dinner sounds great right now. It's been a good week. Got to thank the Beaver Block crew for letting Niner Esports tag along for the 24-hour. There's definitely going to be some more events we do with them. LSRTV and the Press Box Motorsports Podcast for being on my side of the car. It was nice to have you guys on for the ride, even though we almost went upside down a couple times. Niner Esports, of course, got to thank those guys for helping eNASCAR in the world of iRacing grow even more than it already has in the backyard of NASCAR. Excuse me, my brain is running low here, so I'm going to wrap this up. Got to thank Terry for coming on. Charles for putting this on. James, thanks, buddy, for always being in the chat, blowing chat up. I enjoy that. Chat back and forth between him and I while you guys are talking. My Twitch channel, I got to plug that because while Terry is hopefully broadcasting the A-Class race, I will be broadcasting my view of the B-Class race for the Collegiate Series. So that's twitch.tv/Brockton P, BROCKTONP, and then the number 24. I think that's it. So, Terry, you got anything?
It's never work when you're on iRacing. Stay up to date with the eNASCAR series. Follow at Justin Melillo on Twitter, Seth Eggert as well. Those two are award winners when it comes to writing stuff. They do such an amazing job for the iRacing community. It's an honor and a privilege to be an announcer on here and to be an ambassador for iRacing. Whether you want to be an ambassador or not, once you take that role as an announcer on here, you take the role as an iRacing subcontractor or contractor for iRacing. You take that leap to push iRacing as much as possible. It's going to be a crazy year. If it wasn't for iRacing, I wouldn't be working for real racing stuff. So I'll be forever indebted to this amazing platform. And watch more iRacing and get people on iRacing. iRacing.com, your portal to the world. Go race every car ever. Go race every car on the planet. You just come race it here. There's every track, every car, you name it, it's here. It's just come on in.
And yes, and 40% off. You forgot 40% off right now.
40% off.
40% off.
And the specials keep on going. Just wait till the summer deals come out.
Yeah, I
Black
mean,
Friday, summer deals, Christmas,
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
I highly do not recommend waiting till Black Friday. But if you just wait,
Get on now.
yeah, you should get on now. But if you do wait by some, miracle, maybe you're overseas or something in the military, because I know you served, and for all those serving, if you come back about Black Friday, you can really get a deal then, like 2 years for like $100 or $119 or something like that.
Indeed.
But, yeah, right now 40% off. I said in the title of this thing as we're closing that this podcast was all about iRacing. And that's all it was about, is iRacing and a little bit about Xbox. So if you happen to have one of those, and
I plugged the Xbox.
Out,
I'm so sorry. I plugged the Xbox for the iRacing console game.
For the record, I would have one, except for the fact you can't find one hardly anymore. The new Xbox is completely sold out everywhere.
Found it at Walmart on a whim. I was looking for a cartridge for printers, and I was like, there's an Xbox there. And then I saw that iRacing made a game, and I was like, even better. iRacing made a game. I can go support iRacing that way too.
Yeah, so I've been trying to get one. So if you happen to get one of those, grab it while you can as well. But yeah, well, that'll pretty much do it for today's show. Terry, as always, good to have you here. Brockton, good to have you as well. But that being said, we're going to sign off. So hopefully everyone has a good rest of their Sunday. And for all those people out there, I know Jeff is going to hate me saying this, but I know Terry's going to give me a thumbs up for this. Let's go 49ers.
My wife has a Troy Aikman poster back here and a Dallas Cowboy flag hanging over there. She'll disagree with you, but go Niners.
Yeah, there you go. Go for the Niners here tonight, and we'll see y'all in the next episode for what we talk about. Well, we'll find that out early this week.
iRacing.
There you go. It's going to be iRacing. We know that. So, good night, everybody. Good afternoon, and we'll see you there.
I breathe fire with every breath. It's a marathon, so I never rest. No, you wanna feel my shoes, you know you're gonna lose. I make moves like I'm playing chess. Always AP when I need success. Great A, DNA, you could say I'm blessed. So I'm coming up now. I'm ready for the big time. I'm headed for the finish line. On top, 'cause the world is mine. I'm ready for the show. You're gonna see me glow in the spotlight. I'm ready for the big time. Front page got the breaking news, and then the road with the royal brew. I'm taking off, drinking rocket fuel. So somebody hit the lights. I'm gonna drop the mic. I'm big time, take a center stage. I'm